Welcome to the DWI Guy podcast, where defenders of the Constitution assemble to prepare for courtroom battle and firm owners gather to develop marketing strategies that will revolutionize the practice of criminal defense. Here's your host, the DWI Guy, Jake Minnick.
Hello, fellow freedom fighters, and welcome to episode 97 of the DWI Guy. We are in the countdown to 100 episodes. And since episode 90, we have been focusing on our DWI Master series. We spoke with 3 DWI Masters at the beginning of this series over 2 episodes each. That was James Davis, Al Messer, and Marcus Hill. And now for last week's episode and the next couple of episodes leading up to 100, we are going to be reflecting on some of the character traits or qualities of a DWI Master. Last week, we focused on education, or really student mindset, of how important it is to be constantly learning when it comes to DWI issues. But today, we're going to focus on marketing. We're going to focus on marketing. Now, you might think this is a strange quality for a DWI master. If we're all about how do you become the best DWI lawyer, isn't that education? Isn't that trial experience? Isn't that passion? And we're going to talk about trial experience and passion coming up over the next couple of episodes. But marketing is a fundamental requirement for being a DWI master. You cannot be a top tier DWI lawyer without also being a good marketer. We're going to talk about why in today's episode and what do I mean by marketing, but you got to wrap your brain around this. This is so critically important to be a good marketer. At our firm, we have this kind of Venn diagram where we basically on one side of the Venn diagram say, we believe that the best legal services should win, not the best marketer. So on the one side of this Venn diagram, our belief system is that the client deserves the best legal services available and doesn't deserve necessarily to be kind of only attracted to or have their attention drawn to the best marketer. However, on the other side of the Venn diagram, we have that we know the best cases go to the best legal marketer. So again, as a firm, we believe that the best legal services should win, that the client deserves the best representation that exists, but we also know that the best cases go to the best marketer. And that's why marketing is so important. If you're going to be a DWI master, you have to be able to get cases. You don't become a DWI master by sitting in the library of the courthouse. First of all, you'd probably be the only person in that library. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go take advantage of that space, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of use of the old libraries at the courthouse anymore. But it's not enough to just be studying the law in the library. And that is extremely important. We talked about all the different ways that you can grow your knowledge of DWI on the podcast last week. But that's going to all be for naught if you can't get people to hire you so that you can exercise those skills in the courtroom. The best cases go to the best legal marketer. This episode today is not just for the solo practitioner. It is not for the CEO or law firm owner of a firm with multiple attorneys. It's not just for the person that owns the law firm. This is for any attorney. If you are an associate attorney, if you are a district attorney thinking about going into private practice, if you're a court-appointed attorney that wants to go out and start your own firm or join another firm that does criminal defense or DWI work, this applies to everybody. Nobody gets to escape being a good marketer. Nobody. If you want to become a DWI master, you're going to have to be a good marketer. It's not going to be enough to join a firm where the cases are flowing through the door. That's not going to be enough. You cannot, you can't help but put on the marketing hat if you want to become a DWI master. And the reason why is that marketing happens in all kinds of ways. You can join a firm that has incredible SEO presence when it comes to DWI, is top on Google Local, is top when it comes to Google advertisements. You're showing up at the top of lawyer directories. You're sending out the best marketing brochures or letters. You can get all of the calls that come into your office. And if the attorney that's handling the case is not able to communicate with the client as to why they are the right fit for that client, and is not able to communicate in a meaningful and empathetic and compassionate way why they will do a great bang up job for the client in the courtroom, that person is not going to hire that lawyer to represent them. So even if you're not involved in the marketing on a grand scale in terms of how calls are coming into the office, even if you're not focused on bringing cases through the door, and I think that everybody to some extent should be involved in that, but even if you're not involved in those parts of the marketing process, if you are working with clients, if you're answering consultation calls, representing people in the courtroom, following up, you are absolutely a part of the marketing process. And here's the reason why. According to Tom Fishburne, who is a marketing guru, he does a lot of cartoons in the area of basically like marketing through cartoons. But he said the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. That is so important to think about. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. That's kind of govern the rest of our conversation for today, is that thought process. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. Being a good marketer in the legal space, or really in any business at this point, doesn't mean being a used car salesman. It doesn't mean being a snake. It doesn't mean selling something that you don't believe in. In fact, none of those things are indicators of a good marketer. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. Everybody's marketing is going to be different. Maybe one person's version of marketing is kind of going out, communicating with other members of the bar, professionals, kind of through this like referral process of trying to kind of build a referral network. Somebody else might be really good with SEO and online presence. Another person might be really good at advertising and figuring out kind of the cheapest way to get the highest value ads placed on Google or some other lead generation site. But at the end of the day, our top marketing skill is to provide exceptional value to our clients. Everybody at the firm should be doing that. So nobody gets to escape this side of things. You cannot provide crappy service. You cannot provide less than excellent service and still be a DWI master. It doesn't matter how good you are in the courtroom. It doesn't matter how amazing an attorney that you are. You will not become a DWI master if you are not good at giving the client everything that they need information-wise along the way to make the right decisions, about being empathetic, understanding the place that they are in, about caring about the human being that you are representing. You cannot become a DWI master without that. And so again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to marketing. I'm not meaning advertising. I'm not meaning kind of, putting clickbait out there or, being really good on social media. Marketing in its broadest sense is communicating the story of your firm, the story of your brand to your client, whatever form you're doing that in, whether that's through an ad whether that's through organic blog writing, podcasting, communicating in public, through speaking engagements. If you're not communicating the story of your firm, you are not doing a good job marketing. If you can tell your firm's story in a compelling way, you're going to attract people to give you a call. And then if you can tell a compelling story to the client as to how you're going to help them through the process and why your firm exists and why you do what you do, you're going to earn that trust. And if through the process, your firm's story comes out that, hey, we live the values that we talked about kind of in our branding, in our marketing that you initially saw when you called the office, or we live up to the values that another professional in the community relayed to you that we are going to communicate once you've hired us, that's how you live that story out. That's how you communicate to the client who you are. It's through that action. This is such a powerful thought, such a powerful thought. Gary Vee says the best marketing strategy ever, care. The best marketing strategy ever, care. Care about your client, care about how you are taking care of the human being that is giving you a call, walking into the office, walking into the courtroom. If you care about the client, I guarantee you that you will be a good marketer. If at the end of the day, you care about the person that you're representing, then you're going to be a good marketer. Because it's not about some gaming of the system. It's not about figuring out some blackballed way of trying to get more clicks or leads or calls. It's about communicating that you care. Again, the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. The best marketing is that marketing where the client recognizes that they are being treated as a human person, that they have value, that you are concerned with how this charge is going to impact their life. They feel you going to war for them in the courtroom. They can feel it. That feeling of being well represented, I can tell you this, at the end of the day, is so much more important than the outcome. The outcome is absolutely important. If you've got a great case to take to trial, the goal is to win. It is not to lose and look good in the process. The goal is to win. If you have a client that is facing a serious sentence level, the goal is to get the best possible sentencing outcome. The outcome is important, but it's not the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. How do you generate referrals? How do you generate referrals? Well, you do that through great representation. And great representation is primarily two things. First of all, and this is the part that gets overemphasized, it is great outcomes. Going to bat for clients and getting great results. That's part of generating good referrals, is getting good outcomes for clients. But even more important in terms of generating referrals from clients, from other people in the community, is delivering exceptional service. That's the more important side of things in terms of referral generation, because that is where you can create a client that is going to go and scream from the rooftops about who you are as a human being, who the people at your office are, the firm culture that you have, the way that you went to bat for them, the way that you communicated with them throughout the process, the information that you provided and how you provided that information, the tone in which you spoke to them, the respect in which you showed them. All of those things are going to be what they walk away with. And I've emphasized so many times on the podcast, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is so important. There are many, many times where clients get the outcome that they are hoping for in the courtroom, but don't get the wow delivery, don't get the wow client service. And those people are not going to refer you cases. It is something that I hear from so many attorneys. I've had this happen to me myself, but I've heard this from so many attorneys. You have a client that you go to bat for, you get a DWI dismissed, or that they're found not guilty. You win a pretrial motion, whatever it might be. You get this great outcome in the courtroom, great sentencing outcome on a level 1. And you're expecting the client is just going to be ecstatic about this outcome, but they're less than impressed with the experience they've had with your firm. Those people will leave you a 1-star review. Those people will not go out and tell their friends to give you a call. They're expecting the great outcome in the courtroom. Whether they hire you or Jane Doe down the road or John Smith down the road, they're expecting the great outcome. They don't think that's magic. They don't think that it's too much to ask. When they're paying for your service and they're getting a professional involved, they expect a great outcome in the courtroom. That's like the standard. So you getting the great outcome, the reason why they hired you to take the case to trial was to win. Just because you actually did what they were hoping that you would do doesn't earn you any brownie points. Maybe earn some, but it doesn't earn you a lot of sway with the client. It doesn't earn you a lot of emotional connection with the client. What earns you emotional connection with the client is the way you treat them throughout the process, the way you value them as a client. And it is that client experience, the way that you deliver your service. That's where you generate somebody that isn't expecting that when they walk in the door. A lot of times their expectations may be greatly exceeded because as a legal industry, we just, again, have not set the bar very high for ourselves. Most people that walk into a law firm aren't expecting to get outstanding service from their attorney. They expect to get great legal representation. They expect the best possible outcome that you can deliver, but they don't necessarily expect a lot in terms of the way that your service is going to be provided. Some people come in with no expectations. Some people come in with low expectations. And I would say probably few people come in with high expectations. But most people don't have expectations about this type of thing. And this is how you generate the best way to generate future cases is through delivering this wow experience. You can get all of the clicks through Google Ads. You can get to the top of the Google Maps listings. You can be great at SEO, great at sending direct mailings, whatever it might be. If you provide crappy service, you are going to spend a fortune trying to build your practice. Because every time somebody comes in and hires you, if they have a bad experience, they're not only not going to come back and hire you in the future, they're going to make sure other people don't do that either. But if you deliver wow experience to a client, they're going to go out of their way to get other people to come hire you. Seth Godin says, the secret to marketing success is no secret at all. Word of mouth is all that matters. Don't be the best kept secret. You don't want to be the best kept secret, right? Whether it's through advertising to the community and getting your brand out there, getting your story out there to potential clients, that is an obligation. The best cases are going to the best marketers. If you believe that you can provide great service and great outcome to the client, you owe it to them to get their attention. You owe it to them to get in front of them. But beyond that, as Seth Godin says, the secret to marketing success is no secret at all. Word of mouth is all that matters. If you're creating wow clients, then you will not be the best kept secret. They will not keep you secret. They will tell other people about you. In the Bible, there are several times where Jesus performs this incredible miracle and tells the person that he has healed, go, don't sin anymore. Don't tell anybody that this happened. Don't talk to anybody else about this. Several times where he says this to somebody that he's healed. You are healed. Go home. Don't talk to anybody about this. And without fail, what does that healed person do in the Bible stories? They immediately go out and tell everybody, right? Literally, God has just told them, don't say anything about this. And they've just been given this great gift of a miracle, but it's so incredible that it has to be shared. The miracle that has been performed is this wow experience that cannot be kept secret. The person that has been miraculously healed is ready to explode to the community and let them know what has just happened, and let them know who Jesus is, and let them know this incredible person that is walking just miles down the road. It's too good. It's too good to keep secret. That's the kind of success that you're looking for, is to create that miraculous experience, that wow experience for the client, so that when they leave the office, and obviously you're not going to tell them, don't go and talk to anybody about this. Maybe you're even encouraging that, which is fine, but they're going to do that if you provide the wow experience. We love sharing something that is incredible. We love talking to our friends about this amazing restaurant that has this incredible hamburger. You got to go to this place and try the bacon cheeseburger, right? You've got to go to this place and try the fish and chips. We love having this like knowledge of this little hole in the wall restaurant that we can share with our friends. You know, you got to go to this place. The atmosphere is incredible. You'll be blown away by the art and the way that they've designed this thing, and the appetizers are incredible. We love sharing that kind of stuff because we feel like we're in on this incredible secret. And if you deliver that wow experience to the client, that's how they're going to feel about it as well. Don't undervalue the result that you get in the courtroom. Do not undervalue that. You've got to do everything in your power to get the best possible outcome in the courtroom for your client. But even more importantly, don't undervalue the delivery of that service. The outcome is important, but the service, the way that you provide your services, the way that you interact with the client at every stage of the attorney-client relationship is way more important than the ultimate outcome. Lastly, and we'll end with this, and this is something that maybe is more of a do as I say and not as I do moment. So I won't pretend to be perfect on everything, but I think that this is a true moment of opportunity that most of us are missing out on. Most of us really miss out on the ability to identify how to improve our service. And the easiest way to figure out how to improve your service is to, guess what? Listen to your clients. Talk to your clients. Figure out what went well in the client representation. Figure out what they liked. Figure out how their communication went back and forth between them and your receptionist or paralegal. Figure out what missing pieces of information they experienced. Figure out what they weren't prepared for when it came to court, so you can eliminate that in the future. Figure out how they were not sure about what they needed to do to get that post-conviction limited driving privilege. Talk to them, listen to them. If there is an issue that comes up on a case, it's likely to be repeated down the road. If you do this enough times, it's likely that it will come up again. Listen to that feedback and adjust your client experience accordingly. Bill Gates says your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. We learn so much better from our failures than from our successes. And if we look at how we underperformed when it comes to client experience, it's so easy for us to get into this complaining mindset. And we do this all the time at our office. I do this all the time. This is not a preachy moment. This is a moment of self-reflection. All of the time, we have a client that is not happy with something that we have done, or voices a concern about communication or about how the representation is proceeding, about the documentation that they needed to provide, come to court, they don't feel like they were adequately prepared. That comes up all the time. And it is easy to just get into this complaining mindset of, dang, that client is just an unhappy person. They just don't understand what I have to deal with, or my calendar. They're all negativity. They just like to complain about stuff. They're a difficult client. They are hard on the staff. And so instead of focusing on what the client's concern or complaint is about, we write it off and just say, that's just a bad client. That's just somebody that is difficult to work with. And, let's get that case closed and move on to the next case, right? It's easy to just write off that complaint and say, that's just a difficult person. The easiest way to improve your service is to take seriously those complaints. You will have clients that really do complain about nothing. But I don't think that's the majority of people that have a concern about some piece of information they've received, about some part of the process, about some level of communication or lack of communication that they have experienced. All the time, people are offering you these beautiful ways to improve your service, to improve the process by which you handle cases. And instead of taking that in with an open mind and saying, well, you know what? Yeah, we kind of fell short on that front. We should try not to do that in the future. We should create a form for that. We should create a template for that. We need to change the way that we communicate this piece of information to the client. Hey, we should add that to the list of things we tell clients to bring with them to court. Instead of accepting that information, we get defensive, we put up our shield and we say, difficult client again, that they're just complaining about nothing, and we write it off, and we lose the opportunity to take advantage of that learning experience. Don't lose that opportunity. Don't lose that opportunity. That opportunity is so valuable. Don't lose that opportunity. Ask your clients what they think of your service. So if you want to become a DWI master, you've got to become a master of marketing. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. And with Gary Vee, the best marketing strategy ever: care. Look forward to speaking with you next time. If you found the information in this podcast to be valuable, I simply ask that you pay it forward and share this podcast with another member of the legal community. Also, if you would leave us a rating or a review on whatever platform you are listening on, I would greatly appreciate it.